Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Zach D Productions here, and I'm here for an album review for you guys. So for this review, I'll be reviewing the new album by Megadeth, The Sick, The Dying, and the Dead. This was definitely one of my most anticipated albums of this year, and this is definitely an album that we've been waiting for quite a few years now. Their last album, Dystopia, came out a while ago at this point. About 6 years ago or something like that, so a new Megadeth album was definitely long overdue. And of course, Megadeth, great band, they're legends in the genre of thrash, of the big four, of course. And how would I compare this album to their last album, Dystopia? Do I think it's a better album? Do I think it's not as good? For me, I'm still a little unsure on that. I think as of this moment, I still probably just like them both about equally, but of course only time will tell on which album I do think is better in time. But yeah, so this new album, The Sick, The Dying, and the Dead, it's a pretty strong album. I do think it's very good. Now, there are a couple songs on the album that I can see lacking replay value, but I mean, I wouldn't consider any of the songs trash or anything. They're all good in their own way, but obviously some songs on the album are better than others. Now, for this review, this will not be a track-by-track review or anything like that. I won't be going over every single song that's on this album, but if you are looking for that, I would say watch someone else's review if that's what you're looking for. I'm just going to be giving you my general thoughts, talking about a few of the songs, the singles, and just my overall review of this album. Yeah, I do dig the rawness of this album. Of course, just Megadeth back at it doing their thing, and this album really does show that Megadeth is still capable of making really good music. Dave Mustaine, he does sound pretty good on this album. I mean, yes, you can kind of hear the aging in his voice, but for what he does, I think he sounds pretty good on this album. He still has it in him to deliver some great vocal deliveries and things like that. So there is that going for Megadeth and just Dave Mustaine himself. And I knew that when the singles for this album came out that this would be a very good album, because I thought all three of the singles have been really good. We'll Be Back, Soldier On, and Night Stalkers, which is featuring Ice-T. Now, of the singles, I would say that We'll Be Back is my favorite of the singles. I think maybe because that's probably the one that sounds the most like Megadeth, at least I would say so. But yeah, the singles would probably be some of my favorites on the album, at least We'll Be Back and Soldier On. But yeah, both very good songs, of course. And I would say Dogs of Chernobyl is also a favorite of mine on the album. That's also a highlight. That's kind of a unique song on the album too. I like the acoustics in the song, and it has this build-up in it, and later in the song it gets a little thrashy, so I really do like that. It's definitely a good one. There are some moments on this album that do sound like standard Megadeth though, such as the title track, which is also the opening song, and yeah, I think it's a good song and definitely not a bad way to start off the album. But yeah, even though it is kind of standard Megadeth, still pretty good, I'd say. And then there's songs like Sacrifice and Junkie, which I think are just okay. Some of the weaker songs on the album, but they're alright. But yeah, I think the highlights on this album are very strong still. But yeah, pretty solid album, I'd say, from Megadeth. And if you like Megadeth, you probably will like this album. There's plenty of thrash. And again, the band still has it in them to create very good music, some great thrash metal. That's basically what you get on this album. There's even some moments that remind me of the Peace Sells But Who's Buying era of Megadeth, which is pretty cool as well. So yeah, pretty solid album, I'd say, from Megadeth. So if I were to give this album a score, I'd probably give it probably an 8.5 out of 10. Very strong album, I'd say. Very good one. Probably one of the best albums of this year. So let me know what you guys think of Megadeth's new album, The Sick, The Dying, and the Dead. So on that note, Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Take care.